Here at the Juice Box, Astro's back in town, ready for the last third of the season. 4.5 game lead over Oakland in the West, so it's looking pretty good. I know I haven't done a video in a while because Bitcoin is really it's ranging between 31 and 41. Today it's up at 41,000. So it's broken 40K. So is it going to go up over 40K to 50 or 45? Could be. Could it go down tomorrow? Yeah, sure. I had a lot of people message me asking me what's going on with Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin when it's at $35,000? Well, if you go back to July 20th to July 31st, it was up like 25 to 30%. That's pretty good in my book. Yeah, it was up at 64 at one point, but you know, that's the volatility of Bitcoin. And like today, I think I checked it before I left. Today is up 8-9%. Ethereum's up, God, I don't know, 20-25%, because they did the hard fork in Ethereum today, where they did the software upgrade and did the hard fork. And so basically, what Ethereum does as opposed to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a limited amount of 21 million or whatever Bitcoin, and Ethereum, what they did is they came out with an amount and they're burning it. When they do a hard fork like this, they burn. I think they said, Cryptos Arrest George said that they were burning 6,000 Ethereum today. And they're only producing 1,600 a day. So that's a loss of like 4,500 Ethereum coins today. And they're burning them. So it makes it deflationary, as opposed to inflationary like the US dollar. So that's interesting. And I posted a lot of stuff lately, mainly of Michael Saylor, just because he gets to the meat of the issue. If you understand yields, interest, inflation, stock market, S&P, bonds, if you understand those things somewhat, you can follow him pretty closely. If you don't understand those things, you're probably not going to know what he's saying, but it's really clear. And it'd be great if we all had $400 million or $500 million to invest in Bitcoin, but we don't. So I can understand his position of buying Bitcoin only, and never selling it, ever. No exit strategy, never. Okay? It's pretty simplistic. I mean, you leverage debt against Bitcoin. Like, I could take my Bitcoin, I could go out on an exchange, I could loan my Bitcoin out at 6% guaranteed interest. Okay, what bank is going to pay me 6% on my money? None. So it would make sense. You'd want to do that, but am I going to do that? No, because why? Because 6% interest is a taxable thing. Anytime you sell Bitcoin for profit or you make profits off of it, it's going to be taxed. So Bitcoin, if you buy it and you hold it, you never sell it, you're never taxed on it. You know, there's no way to get to it, okay? It's like Mr. Saylor says, Bitcoin is something that everybody needs. Bitcoin is something that they can't stop. They could slow it down, sure, what they're going to do. They're going to slow it down. And Bitcoin is something that 98% of people don't understand anything about it. And that right there is like incredible, because technology is moving at such an incredible pace. It blows my mind. And how the crypto space and the network is dissolving all these other business models. You know, for instance, books, music, TV, cable. I mean, you don't even really need cable TV anymore. You just need an internet connection, right? And for instance, like my phone provider. 2 weeks ago, I think they sent out a thing, get a 5G phone for $100, $200 or something. Then a week later, they're sending out, get a free 5G phone, no cost. So basically, they want you to upgrade to 5G. There's not going to be any charge for the phone. So when do they do that, or why are they doing that? Well, maybe I don't want 5G. Maybe they want me to have 5G. I don't want it. I don't need it. Mine's fast enough as it is. I'll stay where I'm at. But yeah, and also they sent out an email yesterday, the phone provider, of a $450 credit to buy electronics. So even the phone companies, the cable companies are often offering these crazy free deals to everybody, and it's coming from every direction. I mean, insurance, gas, all kind of things. So the question here is, what are you going to do? Because you got limited amounts of money. It's kind of like what I've run up against. I put most of my liquid assets into Bitcoin because it is a hard asset. So what you have to do, and what a lot of people don't know, is because they're not rich, is you got to go out and leverage debt. You could go to a bank, you can get a mortgage, a line of credit, or whatever. Somebody's going to lend you money at 2 to 7% interest. Okay, fine, you got a payment over here on 20-year scale, $100 a month for 20 years, and you can pay it back anytime you want. You don't have to use it if you don't want. You can do whatever you want with it. So if you got a hard asset that's making, according to Mr. Saylor, 150 to 200% every year over the last decade, well, why wouldn't you borrow money at those percents and buy a hard asset that's going up 100? Even if it's only going up 20%, 25%, you're still up 20% on your money. So it just all makes sense. You really got, like he says, you got to understand it. You have to put in 10 hours just to scratch the surface, 100 hours to really get to understand it, 1,000 hours to really be able to answer people's questions, and 10,000 hours you can be an expert. Okay, so I've been looking at it since 2014, and I didn't buy till 3 years later. So I've put in my 10,000 hours. Am I a financial expert? No. I'm not an advisor? No. I'm just telling you where things are going, and it's moving fast, really fast. And this is the beginning. It's still early. The federal government is put out this infrastructure plan that's 2,700 pages long. Okay, and they got all this stuff in there about crypto, which is a fallacy. Basically, they're going to have to amend it because they can't go in and say you have to be a broker to send Bitcoin peer-to-peer to somebody. They can't do anything about it other than throw everybody in jail that's doing it. It's kind of like the drug wars, It's like war on drugs. We're going to defeat the war on drugs. Well, no, they're not, because they don't have the resources. They're too big. They're too bulky. They're too slow. Okay? They're not, as he says in Bitcoin, they're not harder, faster, smarter, stronger. And that's what Bitcoin is. That's what the Bitcoin blockchain is. It's the most secure digital network in the world, bar none. So you've got thousands and thousands of people monitoring the network, making sure nobody's messing with it. It's really that simple. So you got to break it down to simplicity more than the complexity of it, because it's really not that complex once you get to understand it. Anyway, go Stros. Here we go. World Series, baby.